Ayubowan. So today in our vocabulary lesson, we're going to focus on antonyms and synonyms, right? So antonyms are opposite meaning words. Synonyms are words that have similar meanings, right? So looking at it, what are synonyms? A word that has a similar meaning, like big, huge. Whereas an antonym has an opposite meaning, big or huge. The opposite is small, right? So why are antonyms and synonyms important? Because you need it for your reading, listening, writing, as well as speaking to avoid repetition. And also when you want to kind of paraphrase your question for your writing paper, okay? So it's quite important for you in all four components. Remember, these words are not allowed obvious as explained above in listening tests. Speaker may use negatives to flip the meaning, not, can't, never, or longer discourse. I wouldn't say this is what I would prefer. Context is important when using these words. Alcohol addiction is an important problem of our time. Preferably, it is important that the government deals with that, okay? So some words are preferably over the others. Fossil fuels are bad for the environment. Without saying bad, you could say harmful, right? Now, how do we improve, right, our knowledge on synonyms and antonyms, or how do you, right, improve your knowledge on synonyms and antonyms? Well, one of the easiest way to do this is by collecting more words into your vocabulary and then maintain a list, okay? So I'm going to do a few words, right? These are not all the words in the language, but I thought I'll have a quick short lesson on this so that you understand the importance and also you start practicing it on your own, okay? So here it is, a list. Amazing means it's incredible, fantastic, fabulous. Answer is to respond awful, terrible, horrible, right? Bad, evil, spoiled, imperfect. Beautiful, stunning, gorgeous, right? So this one here is not gorgeous, but it is gorgeous, okay? So some people get it difficult. Some people find it difficult to pronounce it properly, right? So it is gorgeous, beautiful, right? Begin is to start something, commence, inaugurate. Big, huge, enormous, gigantic. Break is to shatter, okay? Calm is to be peaceful, tranquil. Come is to approach or arrive. Cool, chilly, frosty, icy. Cut, split, slash. Dangerous can be risky, right? Hazardous. Decide is to kind of determine or settle. Definite, certainly, positively, obviously. Delicious, okay, is yummy, savory. Tidbit, okay. Describe, portray, characteristics or characterize. Destroy is to demolish, ruin something, right? Difference is disagreement. Dull is very boring and uninteresting, okay? End is to terminate something. Explain is to elaborate. Fall, drop, descend, famous, well-known, renowned, eminent. Fast, really quick, right? Rapid, swift, fat, chubby, bulky. Funny, humorous, hilarious. Get is to acquire, secure. Okay, gather, good, excellent, superior, wonderful, gracious, right? Great again. Worthy, distinguished, right? Happy, you're pleased, you're delighted, okay? You're joyful, right? Hate is to, you don't like someone, right? Is to despise, okay? Hate. Have is to own, acquire. Help is to support. Hide is to cover something, put a mask, hide. Idea, thought or concept. Important, vital, critical, necessary, right? Notable. Interesting, engaging, gripping, captivating, little, tiny, small, right? Look, glimpse, stare, peer. Love, fancy, adore, right? Make is to create or originate. Move is to move from one place to another, right? Toddle, drag, crawl. Neat, orderly manner, tidy. New, unique, modern. Old, ancient, aged, feeble. Okay. Place, a map, a diagram, a blueprint. Okay. Show is to display, exhibit. Tell, divulge, disclose, reveal. Use is to utilize, spend. Wrong, incorrect, inaccurate, right? Improper. Okay, so let's have a look at these meanings, right? What is the closest meaning? Remote is very distant, okay? So it would be this one here. Detest. What do you mean by detest? You hate someone, detest, hate. Okay. So the third one is gracious, right? And gracious is to be very pleasant. Okay. Next one here, predict, is to kind of tell things in the future, foretell. Kin is someone having the same blood kind of relation, right? Relative. Pensive is to be very thoughtful about something, right? Banish is to move someone or put someone out of that country or, your home. Exile. Fraud is to steal something or to act like you're someone else. Imposter. Saccharine, okay? Like sugar, very sweet things. Saccharine, sweet. So look at the spelling, saccharine. Next one, drag, okay? So when you say drag, it means to pull. Jovial is a very funny, humorous person, merry. Indifferent is that you don't show any difference. So you're kind of a very neutral person, neutral, right? Simulate is to kind of imitate something. You simulate something, right? So imitate. Charisma. You say he's a very charismatic person, right? So something that kinds of, has something to charm you, right? So charm, charisma. A portion is to divide. You say, oh, give me a portion, a portion. A portion, it means divide. Okay. So if there's a word here you don't know the meaning, please have a look at the meanings, right? So example, if you don't know what dizzy is, have a look at the meaning from the dictionary, right? Now here we have a few more, right? Generic. Generic is something very general, not being very specific, right? So the next one here is qualm. Now qualm is when you have a second thought of doing something wrong which is against your morals, right? So scruple means the similar thing. Okay. So number 18, wary, means you're really cautious about doing something, okay? Distort means that you change something, okay? You usually change the shape or size, distort. So similar meaning would be deform, okay? So the next one is sumptuous, okay? So sumptuous means something really expensive or luxurious, okay? So D. And real means like a whirl, okay? So there you are, a real. All right, so the next one here, which of these words is most dissimilar? That means opposite meaning, okay? Now, gracious here means kind of like a very polite kind of thing, but here rude, okay? So gracious means very pleasant in a social situation, right? Rude means you're not gracious, okay? Right. So next one here is valor, right? And it means to be brave, okay? And having the strength of mind. So falls means wrong, drop means go down, heavy means which is really heavy, but the opposite is being a coward, okay? You're very brave, but you're coward, you're very scared of something. Cowardice, right? So a coward. Severe is something which is very important, okay? We give you a severe penalty, very harsh one as well, right? Lenient means, no, not very strict, okay? Rough, right? So rough really means uneven, right? Or you're like a rough player, okay? But sleek means, very smooth surface. Garner means to store or gather something, whereas squander means to scatter, put everything everywhere, scatter, okay? Right, so question number 6, prodigal, okay? So prodigal means to waste really a lot, like you spend extravagantly, okay? Whereas thrifty means that you really want to save something, you spend where it's necessary, right? Felicitous, okay? So felicitous means that you're well suited somewhere, whereas inopportune means that you're not well suited somewhere, okay? All right, so moving on to the next one, austere, right? Austere is to be simple, right? Whereas lavish means to be really in abundance of something, having a lot, right? Insipid means someone who lacks really exciting qualities, whereas exciting means complete opposite. You have a lot of exciting qualities, right? Wastrel means a person who spends money foolishly. You waste a lot of money, wastrel. Whereas misser means someone who is wise to spend his or her wealth, right? Temperate means very moderately. Inordinate means that it is excessively. So that's obviously the opposite, right? Nebulous. So nebulous means something which is very vague, right? Whereas distinct means something which is clear and precise. Imaginative is someone who is very creative in thinking. Dull is someone who doesn't have any creativity, right? Knowing means that you have all the necessary information, but dense is definitely the opposite of it. You've been really dull or stupid. Right, so the next one is animosity, right? Animosity is that you're very angry with someone, right? Hostile behavior. Whereas love is completely the opposite of it, right? You're very caring. Tacit means very unspoken or implied, whereas dictate means you tell, okay, do this, do that, do this, right? Repudiate is to deny or reject someone, whereas admit says you accept everything, okay? Next one, pristine. So pristine means to be pure or unspoiled, whereas sully or sullied means it's spoiled, okay? Adroit is to be really skillful with something and the use of your hands especially. Clumsy is completely the opposite of it. So you really don't handle things well. You're a really clumsy person. You drop things, right, randomly. Clumsy. Mite means small or insignificant. We say little mites, very insignificant, right? Bulk means a lot, in excess. Okay? Supernal means something which is heavenly or coming from high, right? Whereas hellish means it's the opposite of that. It doesn't come from the high, supernal, right? Reprobate is someone who does bad things, who has a bad character, really not well high in their morals. But elevated is someone who has a high moral, okay? Specious is someone who has a false look, right? Whereas genuine means you're 100%, you're telling the truth, a genuine person, honest person, okay? So moving on to our last two words, effete is to be really weak, Proper is obviously the opposite. It means that it's respectable, right? And that is the opposite of it. Exact means to have something precisely. Incorrect is obviously something which is wrong. Okay, so you can find so many words like this, okay, and add it into your vocab list and find similar and opposite words to that specific word, right? So I think I've done a few words with you. So all I wanted to do was give you an insight that this lesson is useful for your writing, speaking, reading and listening, right? Because most students struggle with vocabulary. Now you can't talk, you can't write without vocab. Okay, so lots of people say, Miss, I want to do IELTS. Good, okay, you could. But do you have the necessary set of skills, right? So to get a 7 or 8, it's not that easy, right? But it's not impossible either. All you have to do is get vocabulary. So to get vocabulary, you should listen, you should read, and enhance or broaden your range of words. So reading the newspaper is one way to do that, okay? Watching movies is one way to do that. Listening to news, BBC News or English news is something that you could do, right? So either way, try ways where you could get more words into your system. That is the only way you could improve your vocabulary, okay? So with that, I think I've given you a lot of words here just so that you could go through those and did a few activities with you, right? Gave you an insight to how important it is for your IELTS exam. So even if you're doing general, even if you're doing academic, still this lesson is useful for you. So with that, we come to the end of this lesson, antonyms and synonyms.